shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, I think we can have some more Shabbat Shalominess than that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is wonderful to see all of you here this morning. It is a great and beautiful Charlotte spring day in which we get to have Shabbat together. And Shabbat in our Jewish tradition is a reminder of the story of creation, that God created for 6 days. On the seventh day, we're supposed to rest and refresh and renew ourselves. And that in fact, good living requires an intentional pause, an intentional breath. And so it's important that we have that breath. And I know that there are people who are here from all over the country. We have, I think, some people from Michigan. Is that right? We have some people from Michigan. All right. Great. Outside of Ann Arbor. Is that about right, so, roughly? Okay. Okay, great. And we have some people from Texas. Is that also correct? Nice. I, too, lived many, many years in Texas and did the Texodus to Charlotte, North Carolina. You're always welcome. And we're glad to have, and we know we have lots of people. If you're from Charlotte, raise your hand if you're from Charlotte. All right, yeah, okay, you're in the majority. Okay, great. So no matter where you're from, whether you are from Texas or from Michigan or from Charlotte or from any place in between all over the place, we have this opportunity to be here in this space together. And this space is, in fact, really unique. This is sort of like an oasis of time and space where we get to pray together. Now, underneath your seats, there is a blue prayer book. And if you want to take out the prayer book, you absolutely can. And it is also, we also have 2 screens as well. And you'll notice that actually the same prayers that are on the screens are in the prayer book. And on the lower right-hand side of the screen is also a page number in case you ever get lost. But I will say that there is a classic Jewish trick that if you ever get lost while while in a service, if you turn the page, that might be where we are, okay? So we have this prayer book, we have the screens, and we have this way to sort of make our way together. A couple of other things. One of the things that we like to do in our congregation is let the outside world be the outside world, to allow ourselves to be in this oasis of time and space together. And I want to invite you to put your phone on Do Not Disturb or airplane mode. We'd like to call that Shabbat mode here at Temple. And to just, center yourself in this space. And then the other piece that's about centering yourself in this space is actually sort of realizing who is on this journey with you. And so we have people who are joining in on Zoom and from places all over the world. And there's 2 cameras right back here. And we're going to turn around and we're going to say Shabbat Shalom. I've already heard you say it. So say Shabbat Shalom to the people who are at home. And that wasn't meant to be embarrassing to the people who just walked in, okay? I just want to, yes, it wasn't, all right? And then on top of that, we have to encourage ourselves to sort of know who's around us. So I'm going to invite you to turn to the north, the south, the east, and the west, in all different directions, and to say Shabbat Shalom to the people who are all around us and just sort of welcome one another into our service. So turn around, say Shabbat Shalom. Jocelyn and Noah are going to be leading us in our worship this morning, and this isn't a performance. This is really our worship service, right? And our worship services at Temple are participatory, and we want to invite you to participate in every single thing that we're doing. So you're reading in Hebrew and you don't know Hebrew, but you can read along in transliteration, or if you're singing and if you don't know the tune, just listen for a second and we'll often repeat, and then join us in services. And recognize also that this is an opportunity for you to do some of the spiritual work of the day as well, to rest and refresh and to sort of use the prayers as a reflection about our lives and where we are. What I also recognize is that the very first prayer that we have is a prayer that thanks God for our souls, right? Like, we got up this morning, it was a good morning, maybe it was a little achy when we got up this morning, depending on how we got out of bed, right? And then you took a breath, and thank God everything is working, and thank God for the souls that we have. And so as we continue with the words of Elohai Neshama, we express that gratitude to God for the fact that we are alive, that we are here, and that we have our souls.
Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama. Shenata tavi, tehorahi, tehorahi. Ata, virata.
Later in the service, we will chant the Givorot, which is a part of the section of the service called the Amidah. We say all of the prayers of the Amidah standing because of their importance and as a way of trying to come closer to God. The Givorot is a prayer about God's power. It explains that God has the ability to give life to all, to provide support to people in tough times, and heal those who are sick. This prayer suggests many ways that God might act in our lives. One of the things that I found interesting about the Givorot is that it states that God has the power to revive the dead. I noticed that these words, revive the dead, are in parentheses in the prayer book and precedes the words, gives life to all. I learned that the early Reformed Jewish leaders were not comfortable with the idea that God had the power to actually revive the dead. So they removed the words from the prayer book and replaced them with the words, gives life to all, because they were more comfortable with the idea that God as a creator. For many generations, one could not find the words revives the dead in a Reformed prayer book. When our current prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah, was released in 2007, the editors chose to reintroduce the words revives the dead as an option for people alongside the words gives life to all. The editors believed that people should have the choice of either way of thinking about God's power, and also that there might be a metaphorical interpretation of the traditional idea. I think that having the ability to choose the words in a prayer is important because people have different ways of thinking about and connecting to God. When we have options in our prayer book, people may feel a greater sense of connection and belonging.
Each time that we gather to pray at Temple Bethel, we sing the words of Misha Berach, which is a prayer for healing. Today, we will offer Misha Berach after Noah and I chant from the Torah. Misha Berach doesn't say God specifically, however, it talks about God using names such as the source of strength, Misha Berach Avotenu, which means the one who blessed our fathers, and Mikor HaBracha Li'imotenu, which means the source of blessing for our mothers. The prayer asks God to help people find courage and to give the blessing of a complete healing. What I appreciate about this prayer is that it reminds us to reach out to others when they are in need of healing. We pray for people when we sing the words which remind us to comfort, call or text, offer to visit, or maybe even make cookies. I think it's important that we surround people when they're not feeling their best. One little thing that we do for someone who's experiencing a challenge could change a person's attitude for the better. Sometimes, all you need is just a little boost of positivity to brighten your day. During hard times, it's important to have people around you to support and allow you to have a complete healing.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai.
Love your neighbor as yourself, you said. In light blinded we saw that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. You spoke and we wrote, we reached for you down the centuries. Your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back and climbed again. Your Sinai of life. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'v'kol nafshecha u'v'kol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha, b'beitecha,
uvleftecha b'derek, ushok becha uvkumeha, ushartam leot al yadecha, v'chayu letotafot beineinecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'etem kedoshim lelohehem. Ani Adonai Eloheihem, asher hotzei et yedhem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Eloheihem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
והמליכו ואמרו
אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ופדחנו ממך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Eloheinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Anorah, El Elyon, Gomer Hasad
ילדים טובים וקוני הכל, וזוהר עשי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, עזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומן נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוה בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גאולך, ונצח נצחים קדושך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונש שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונש שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם ישבעו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונש שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונש שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקדשת שבת. חמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שומרי Shabbat v'koreone Shabbat Yismechu v'malachutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat v'koreone Shabbat Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
We now take time for silent prayer.
We come now to Seder Kriyat Torah, the Shabbat, the service for the reading of the Torah on Shabbat morning. And as you're going to hear a little later from both Jocelyn and Noah, this Torah portion is chock full of things that are kind of complicated and hard to really explain. It's a Torah portion that's filled with a lot of different rules about the priests and how they are the ancient priests and how they really conducted the priesthood and the religious life of the community of Israel some 2,000 plus years ago. And what's interesting is that for these two young people who have taken the Torah and interpreted the Torah and are going to teach us some Torah today, they've had to really dig deep into what the meaning of the Torah is, precisely because sometimes in ancient text, right, an ancient text doesn't necessarily speak to us the way that it did to the people who wrote it thousands of years ago. But that's, I think, part of what the beauty is of our tradition and part of the beauty of actually taking the Torah and trying to interpret it, is the recognition that in each and every age, we have lived different lives and experiences. In each and every age, people have chosen to take the Torah and to hold it and value it, and to recognize that while the words stay the same, we change. And while the words stay the same, our world changes. And while the words stay the same, there are still eternal lessons that we can grasp from it and learn from it and help to guide us upon our path and our journey. A lens through which we can look through the world and try to understand our world a little better. But that requires making sure that our young people have the gift of Torah and hold it in their lives. In other words, the Torah was not a gift that was received just thousands of years ago. It's a gift that we continue to give to our young people to walk with in their lives. And that is a real statement about how a many thousand-year-old tradition continues to perpetuate itself. It's a statement that we have resolve and resilience and constant renewal because of what our young people bring to the world. So we are going to participate in an old tradition of passing the Torah l'dor v'dor from generation to generation. And it's a tradition that invites Noah and Jocelyn to not just think about the people who are here, but the generations of family members who could only conceive of the idea that they would be here today and held fast to the Torah and pass it down l'dor v'dor from generation to generation. But in order to do this, we have to invite a lot of people forward. It's not going to be everyone, don't worry. But it's going to be a lot of people. To help open the ark, we have Jocelyn's cousins, Truman and Lincoln Cox, ready to go. And you're going to come stand right behind us. And I saw them practicing with their arms earlier. They're going to be great.
Okay, let's us go.
I'm going to ask Noah and Jocelyn to go stand right next to them. And I'm going to have their parents, of course, Rebecca and Adam, and Sarah and Robert, come stand right next to them. And from Noah's family, invite forward Carol and Andy Braitman and Jacob Horner and Elaine and John McWegan and Bill and Linda Farthing and Adam and Rebecca, you're here. And of course, also from Jocelyn's family, Dee Dee Fox and Chuck Ducharme and Bert Skiebeck and Marcia Riggsby and Charlotte Riggsby and Robert Riggsby and Sarah Riggsby. You're all up there. I told you it was a lot of people. But we're not done yet. I want to invite all of you to please stand as we take the Torah from the ark.
Say Torah, Var Adonai Yerushalayim, Yibitzion. Say Torah, Var Adonai Yerushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo, Torah le'amo Yisrael. Baruch Shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
Okay. Jocelyn and Noah, I want you to do me a favor, and come take a big step forward, even come off the bima just a little, okay? All right. Yep, come on. Yep, oh, yes, okay. I know. Everyone's a little worried about getting off the bima now, okay. All right. Now what I want you to do is I want you to turn around and face your families. And take a moment, and if it means that you have to, because they have large families, if you have to walk down a little, just do that. Walk and make sure that you look at every single person in the eye. Okay, so go for it and do that. Just make sure you see every single person. Okay. It is not every day that your families stand here before you like this, and it's not every day that they stand here with such beautiful arraignment of people who are coming here to support you and to hand you the Torah. And I want to make sure, and Cantor and I believe so strongly in this, that when we have an opportunity like this to create an intentional awareness of the people who are here and how beautiful it is that they are here, how wonderful it is that they give you the gift of the Torah to hold on to with your lives. So, we're going to carefully pass the Torah. Grandparents are going to touch the Torah, and then we'll pass it to your parents, and they will pass the Torahs to you.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Please be seated.
I have attended 6 Points, which is a Jewish sports camp, for many years. I want to share an experience that I had this past summer. I vividly remember that I hadn't seen my friends all year, and I couldn't wait to reconnect with them at camp. On Shabbat, everyone dressed in white, and we created one large community. We walked down to where the rabbis and staff were, and we sang Shabbat prayers and songs. Then, we listened to the stories and teachings of our Jewish tradition. One of the most impactful moments was when some people shared why Judaism was meaningful to them. Everyone mentioned how community, rituals, and tradition set a foundation for a meaningful Jewish life. I will always remember how at 6 points, Shabbat was a time to gather and create a beautiful community, connect with our people's pasts that is very much relevant in our present. So, what does my experience at camp have to do with my Torah portion today? In Parashat Emor, we learn about the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, also known as the Festival of Booths. This holiday is a time for the community to come together and connect with each other while also honoring our past. The whole Torah portion, not just the part that I'm going to chant this morning, deals with the 3 major Jewish holidays: Sukkot, Passover, and Shavuot. The Torah teaches that holidays connect us to our past and create rituals and moments for beautiful gatherings with friends and family, which include shared meals, storytelling, laughter, and song. Unlike Shabbat, Sukkot lasts for 7 days, during which we build temporary shelters called sukkahs using branches of trees. These remind us of the booths that the Israelites lived in during their journey from Egypt to Israel. As we dwell in these shelters, we are reminded of the delicate nature of life and the importance of appreciating every moment. At summer camp, we celebrate Shabbat as a way to honor our traditions and connect with each other. Sukkot is a holiday celebrated once a year. Shabbat is a holiday that is celebrated every week. Just like Sukkot, on Shabbat we can welcome guests into our homes and communities and invite guests to share meals and celebrate. My Torah portion reminded me of the purpose of holidays: coming together as a community, cherishing our past, welcoming one another in friendship, and creating a beautiful community. Oh, and don't forget the good food. That's a very important part of holidays. To me, celebrating holidays in the Jewish tradition helps me to appreciate Jewish history, family and friends, and the importance of community. Shabbat Shalom.
The first Aliyah I'd like to invite forward Robin and Isabel Klaber. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Yidaber Adonai al Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael lemor, b'chamisha asar yom, lachodesh hashvi'i hazeh chag hasukot, shivat yamim ladonai, bayom harishon mikra kodesh, kol melehet avodah lo ta'asu.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Don't go anywhere yet, quite yet. All right. First off, everyone say Yesher. Say koach. Put it together, say yesher koach. Yesher koach means keep up the strength. In Charlotte, we say keep pounding. And it is a way of saying that you have honored the Torah and honored Shabbat and honored our community and, of course, Jocelyn. And we always have the people who have this honor make sure to give the bat mitzvah a big hug and then go stand on the other side of the campus. You can't leave too early, okay? So come on over and give her a big hug and then stand on the other side of Cantor Thomas. Invite forward your mom and dad, Sarah and Robert, and your sister, Charlotte. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Shivat Yamim Takrivu Ishel Adonai Bayom Hashmini Nikra Kodesh Yeh Lachem V'hikraftem Ishel Adonai Atzerti Kol Melehet Avodah Lo Ta'asu Eile Moadei Adonai Asher Tikreu Otam Mikrae Kodesh Lehakriv Ishe Ladonai Ola Omincha Zevach Unsachim Devar Yom Biyomah Milevad Shabbatot Adonai Umilevad Matnotechem Umilevad Kol Nidrehem Umilevad Kol Nidevotechem Asher Titenu Ladonai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We say aloud, Yesher Koach, Yesher Koach. To the two of you, to you as well as a big sister. It's a big thing to be a big sister, to a younger sister as well. But for honoring the Torah and honoring Shabbat, and for raising awesome kids in our community, and we say Yesher Koach, keep up the strength, and give her a big hug, or at least a fist bump on the way over.
All right, Jocelyn, it's our privilege to call you as a bat mitzvah to the Torah. Talmud Yosef Abatzar Robert Habat Mitzvah La Aliyah La Torah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamevarach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim V'natan lanu et Torato Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ach lachamisha asar yom lachodesh hashvi'i Be'os pechem et tivuat ha'aretz Tachogu et hagadonai shivat yamim Bayom harishon Shabbaton Uvayom hashemini Shabbaton Ulkachtem lachem Bayom harishon Peri et hadar Kapot temarim Ve'anaf et avot Ve'arvei nachal Usmachtem Lifnei Adonai Elohechem Shivat Ya'amim Ve'hagotem Oto Chag Adonai, Shivat Yamim Bashana, Hukad Olam, Lidorotechem, Bachodesh Hashvi'i, Tahogu Oto. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. And we say out loud, Yasher Koach, for honoring us with the reading and beautiful chanting of the Torah, for teaching us Torah, for becoming a bat mitzvah in our community. Keep up the strength. I have a feeling it's possible that your mom and dad and sister would like to give you another hug, which is definitely worthwhile. So go ahead and go do that.
My Torah portion, Parashat Emor, has some important and eternal lessons. This morning, I want to focus on the eye for an eye principle. My Torah portion is about an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, or the Torah's laws of retaliation. First, God tells Moses to gather the community to stone a blasphemer. Then, God speaks of the concept of an eye for an eye, and finally, the blasphemer is stoned and killed. If we practiced an eye for an eye in our home, my brothers and I would be all blind and armless. As you can see, this text is violent and complicated. While this principle of retaliation may seem harsh and violent, the laws of retaliation are actually intended to prevent excessive violence. It means that if someone causes harm to another person, they should be punished in a way that is proportionate and just. They should not be allowed to get away with their actions or to cause more harm in return. The principle of an eye for an eye reminds us that actions have consequences, but it also challenges us to be fair and compassionate in our interactions with others. We shouldn't go around and cause physical retaliation to other people. One modern-day situation where the eye for an eye principle could apply is in cases of cyberbullying or online harassment. With the rise of social media, it has become easier for individuals to engage in harmful behaviors towards others without facing immediate consequences. In such cases, the principle of an eye for an eye could be used to hold cyberbullies accountable for their actions and ensure that they face appropriate consequences. This includes taking responsibility for their actions and making amends for any harm they have caused. However, it's also important to balance the principle of justice and accountability with compassion and mercy. We should consider that some cyberbullies are often motivated by factors such as insecurity, jealousy, or often other personal issues. While we can hold them accountable for their actions, we should also seek to understand and address the root causes of their behavior, which is better achieved through counseling or therapy rather than punishment and retaliation. In the commentary to my Torah portion, the values of reparations are emphasized. The Rambam, a medieval Jewish philosopher and legal scholar, understood the Torah's teaching about an eye for an eye, explaining that the principle applies to monetary compensation for damages caused by someone's actions. Other rabbis have also interpreted it as an ethical principle of justice and fairness. In other words, it's important to have justice, but an eye for an eye would also be too violent. The rabbis encouraged us to have more compassion and care for people by creating monetary reparations instead of violence. This is important because I don't think that God would have wanted justice where people end up physically hurt. The concept of monetary compensation acknowledges the value of human life and dignity and provides a more peaceful alternative to physical punishment. Parashat Emor teaches us an important lesson about justice and accountability. If we reimagine the eye for an eye principle, it could apply not just to ancient times, but also to modern-day situations where individuals cause harm to others. May we continue to learn from this teaching and strive to build a more peaceful, just, and compassionate world for all. Shabbat Shalom.
For the fourth Aliyah, I'm inviting forward Evan Horner, accompanied by Thomas Horner. Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamabarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayedaber Adonai El Moshe Lemor Hotzei Het HaMekalel El Michutz Lamachanem V'samchu Chocheshamehi Et Yedehem Arusho Veragmu Oto Kol Hayeda V'yel B'nei Yisrael Tidaber Lemor Ish Ki Kalel Elohav V'nasacheto V'nokev Shem Adonai Mod Yumat Ragom Yirgemu Vod Kol Hayeda V'nokvo Kager Kaisra V'nokvo Shem Yumat.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chaye Olam Nata Bechoenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yesher Koach. Yesher Koach for honoring Torah and honoring Shabbat. We're going to give your brother a big high five, hug. We'll let you choose as you would go by. All right. A loving gesture. Okay. All right. For the fifth Aliyah, I invite forward your parents, Rebecca and Adam.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamabarak.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamabarak Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamabarak Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'ish Ki Yakeh Kol Nefesh Adam Mod Yumat Umakeh Nefesh Behema Yeshalemena Nefesh Takat Nafesh V'ish Ki Yitain Mum Ba'amito Sher Asa Kain Ye'aselo Shever Takat Shever Ayim Takat Ayim Shem Takat Shem Kasher Yitain Mum Ba'adam Kain Yinaten Bo.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamabarak. Oh, excuse me. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Toret Emet V'kai Olam Nata Bato Kenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Yesher Koach. We say Yesher Koach. Keep up the strength for raising great kids and for being awesome parents and for supporting Noah in his journey. Come give him a big hug. stay right there. You stay. You guys want to stand?
All right, Noah, it is our privilege to call you as a bar mitzvah today to the Torah. Ya Amod, Noach ben Rivka ve'Adam, ha-bar mitzvah la'aliyah la'Torah.
Baruch Hu Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen.
Umakeh v'hema yishalemena. Umakeh badam yumat. Mishpat echad yihyechem kager kaIsrael. Ki ani Adonai Eloheihem. Hayedaber Moshe el bnei Yisrael ve'otzio het hamekalel el michutz lamachanem v'yirgemu oto aven uvnei Yisrael asu kesher tziva Adonai et Moshe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nata lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'torchenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. And we say aloud, Yesher Koach, for honoring Torah and teaching us Torah and becoming a bar mitzvah in our community today. Keep up the strength. It's a beautiful job. I know your parents and your brother will give you more hugs on the way over. So if you'll go get some hugs from them. Yes. As we have the Torah out, each and every Shabbat, we think of those in our community who are in need of healing, a healing of mind and body and spirit and soul. And we are placing onto the screen the names of members of our own community that we are thinking about on this Shabbat. These are people who, for whom we've been praying for a long time, some of whom are recently added to the list. Some people are people who may be even sitting next to you today or watching at home. And they're people that we hold in our hearts as our own, and it's always a reminder to us to leave the sanctuary and to make a phone call or to bring a meal and to help support people in the process of healing. And as my eyes go around the congregation, I want to invite you to either say out loud or even silently in your own heart the name of someone that you're thinking about, someone that you know needs extra support right now, or healing and wholeness. Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim, blessed are you, O God, who supports and comforts those in need.
May the source of strength
I'd like to invite forward Thomas Horner and Deborah Gordon and Annie Gordon Thomas and Sarah Gordon Thomas. If you will come forward. I'm going to ask the congregation to please rise as we dress the Torah and return the Torah back to the ark. We come now to the Haftarah, the additional reading of a section from the book of the prophets that we read on Shabbat mornings. And many, many years ago, about 1,500 years ago, the rabbis actually connected different parts of the Torah to different parts of the prophetic readings. And the reason they did this was actually sort of a subversive way of reading the Torah. There was actually a time in which Jews were prevented from reading the Torah out loud. And so they took sometimes the thematic interests of the Torah and they related it to other books of prophets. And so they had a way of sort of reading the Torah without reading the actual Torah, and by reading the other writings that were important to our people. And so we have kept this tradition with this additional Haftarah, this additional reading. And this morning's Haftarah comes from the book of Ezekiel. And it has to do with the relationship of the laws. As I explained a little earlier, and as Jocelyn and Noah explained, this Torah portion is filled with laws about festival holidays and about how to exact punishment or retribution and justice, right? And so there's lots of different laws in here. And so what the book of Ezekiel also talks about is how we have a process of laws and a process of tradition, but we also have a commitment to change. Sometimes laws that we have don't actually work for the society in which we live. And sometimes those laws themselves, even ones in the Torah, they actually need to change. And so the book of Torah and the books of Ezekiel sort of remind us and call us to the recognition that tradition is important, but tradition doesn't have a veto on how we have to live in a world.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen faithful prophets to speak the words of truth. Praise to you, Adonai, for the revelation of Torah, for your servant Moses, for your people Israel, and for prophets of truth and righteousness.
Bereshit, kol bekurei chol, vechol terumat kol, mikol terumotechem, lakohanim yeh. Bereshit arisotechem titenu lakohen, lechaniach beracha el betecha. Kol nevela o tarefa o min haof o min habehema, lo yohelu hakohanim.
This is to be their inheritance. I am their inheritance. You are to give them no property in Israel. I am their property. They shall eat the meal offering, the purgation offering, and the reparation offering. And everything in Israel that has been set aside shall be theirs. The priest shall also get the best of the first fruits of all kinds. And every offering of whatever you offer, you shall also give a priest the first loaf of whatever you bake, and a blessing will rest on your home. And priests are not to eat any bird or animal that dies a natural death or is killed by another animal.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol ha'olamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'osei, ha'medaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. Al haTorah, ve'al ha'avodah, ve'al ha'nevi'im, ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, Shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, lechavod ultifaret. Al hakol, Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim lach, umevarchim otach, yitbarach shimcha, b'fi kol chai, tamid le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen.
I would like to thank several people who helped me prepare for today. First, I would like to thank the Madrakim, tutors, teachers, and clergy who helped me learn Hebrew and now reading from the Torah. I'm happy to share the Bima with Noah and his family today. Mazel tov, we did it. I would also like to thank my friends and family for coming to my service and celebrating my bat mitzvah here with me. I want to give thanks to my family for supporting me every day of my life, and especially throughout my bat mitzvah preparation. On a day like today, I'm thinking about my grandparents, Muzzy, Bob, and Peepaw, who sadly have passed and couldn't be here, but are not forgotten. I would like to thank Grandma Dee for giving me my talit and helping me prepare for my bat mitzvah. I would also like to thank Aunt Amy and Lincoln and Truman. You always make me smile and allow me to always have the best times. And now for my sister, Charlotte. Even though we annoy each other once in a while, okay, it's more than once in a while. For the times that's not the case, you have been a great big sister. You have a funny sense of humor, and I appreciate your support. Mom, thanks for always being there for me and helping me overcome all the struggles I've encountered. You're so incredibly caring, and I just appreciate your presence in my life. I enjoy going on adventures with you and hope we have many more together. Dad, you are really funny and can always make me laugh. I love watching Atlanta United games with you, driving to soccer, and sharing fun experiences. I'm really lucky to have parents like you. Mom and Dad, please join me on the Bima.
Well, Jocelyn, I thought maybe I could get through this without crying, but I should know neither of us have made it through Disney's Inside Out without crying about Bing Bong, so there's no way I can do this without tearing up. It's very hard to believe that this day we talked about for so long has finally arrived. The way you balance bat mitzvah preparation with academics, sports, and time with family and friends is truly incredible. Your energy and determination are endless, and you always inspire us with your grit.
We are incredibly grateful to our family and friends who join us to celebrate with you. It means more than we can express to have so many of you here and to know how much you are loved.
We're always thankful for you, Jocelyn, and we are in awe of your hard work and perseverance. I hope that you never lose your confidence and ability to make any situation more fun and lively.
Your compassion, empathy, work ethic, sense of loyalty, and ability to know what is right and will guide you as you continue striving to make our world a better place.
We hope and pray that you maintain your sense of wonder and continue believing that anything is possible. We love you and are so proud of you, not for the impressive list of things you've accomplished, but for the person you are.
would like to express my gratitude to all those who have supported and helped me along the way. I want to thank the teachers, rabbis, and cantors and team of professionals, tutors, and madrahim at Temple Bethel who taught me prayers, how to chant my Torah portion, and encouraged my learning. Mazel tov, Jocelyn. You did a great job. Thanks for being my partner. I'm really lucky to have so many amazing family members, grandparents, uncles and aunts, cousins, and friends who are here today who have supported me throughout life. Your love, friendship, and support means the world to me. For those who are here to support me and my family today, thank you. I also have to give a shout out to my neighbors for always being there for me and making my days brighter. Lastly, my family deserved a special shout out as well. Evan, you are always up for games of chess, basketball, or jumping on the trampoline. As a gift to you on my bar mitzvah, I will allow you to win at chess one day. You are a great brother, and your positive attitude is contagious. Thomas, we are definitely not an even match in chess, so I'd have to let you win a lot of games. You are a great brother and so much fun to hang out with. Your attitude is always happy and comical. I love going to the trampoline with you and the neighbors. Dad, you always push me to be a better person and support me in all my athletic endeavors. I love when we shoot hoops and talk. Mom, you never fail to cheer me up when I'm feeling down, and playing categories always puts me in a better mood. I love you both so much, and I am grateful for all you have done to help me become who I am. Mom and Dad, I love you both. Please join me on the bima.
Welcome, everyone. We're so glad you're here. So Noah, there's an old adage that says, do not prepare the path for your child, but prepare your child for the path. And your dad and I cannot transform the world into a more gentle or loving place. What we can do is our level best to prepare you to show up as a man of dignity and honor, no matter the conditions of the world that you're in. Noah, encouraging you to become a bar mitzvah is one of the most important ways your dad and I are attempting to prepare you for the path. During your preparation for this day, you have demonstrated many of the most sacred values of the Jewish faith: fortitude, commitment, faith, and courage. The muscles we use are the ones that grow. Through the very act of preparing for this day, you've demonstrated your capacity to show up in the world as a young man of dignity and honor. And now, my dear Noah, you've joined a large and welcoming community of others that have committed to do the same. Dear God, please bless this precious child on this special day. Excellent work.
Noah, every life is just a series of moments that all come together in something that we can all hope gives us pride and gives us joy. This all started with the moment that we welcomed you into this world on that February day. And it continued with the moment that we welcomed you into the Jewish faith at your bris. And for you, there was moment after moment after moment where you showed tremendous commitment, perseverance by studying your Torah, working on your Hebrew, writing your speech, instead of spending time on the trampoline, as I know you love to do, or watching TV. And all of those moments brought you to this moment, a moment where you showed everybody in this congregation that you are a young man, yes, a man, of substance, of courage, and of dignity. Today, the Jewish faith can stand a little bit taller, knowing that it has such a beautiful, beautiful blessing in you, son. I am so proud of you today. I'm so proud of you every day. I'm proud to call you my son. Great job.
I invite the congregation to please rise. Jocelyn, Noah, you spoke beautifully about the lessons of your Torah portion, which I know that Cantor and I readily admit is hard sometimes to derive lessons from, right? About community togetherness and about how Shabbat and holidays help to create an environment that welcomes one another and creates meaning and purpose. About the sense of personal responsibility and justice and compassion. But it's also about valuing diversity and including people who are different from us in the religious life of a community, and balancing our lives with our spiritual lives and making sure that the spiritual lives help us to lift up the life that we have each and every day. The two of you on a daily basis are really busy people. You have lots of things going on. And in the hectic hustle and bustle of life, it can be easy to lose sight sometimes of the valuable lessons that your Torah portion teaches, or the valuable lessons that you have taught us too. And I want you to remember that the ways in which we can sometimes continue to value those things is by slowing down and being mindful of the gifts that we have, of the ways that family comes together, and the humor that we have when we do. The ways in which we can bring compassion to the world and seek out justice too. The ways in which we can elevate our own lives and by doing so lift up the world as we move in the day-to-day. You two are wonderful young people. And I know that Cantor and I look forward to seeing all of the blessings that you will bring to this world in the years ahead. At the very center of the Torah is a blessing. That's one of the oldest blessings that we have. It's called Birkat Kohanim, the priestly prayer. And we know that it's one of the oldest blessings that we have because in the Jerusalem Museum there's an artifact that's been dated to over 3,500 years ago. And we know that this prayer is at the very least one of the oldest prayers that continues to exist. And it was a prayer that was said by the priests of your Torah portion to the people of Israel. And then it became a prayer that our parents said to our children. And so your parents have their hands on you, and the whole congregation is going to participate in this prayer. Because after Cantor chants the prayer and I translate it, each stanza, we're going to all respond with the words, Ken Yehi Ratzon, which means may this be God's will. So everyone say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. Now put that together. Say, Ken Yehi Ratzon. So your parents have their hands on you and are blessing you with this ancient prayer. And all of our words together in this community are also flowing through them in this recognition that it's a prayer of our whole community to the two of you and the gifts that you bring to our community.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasim lecha shalom.
And may God be with you every step, with every journey, with every soccer play and every chess move. And may God bless you with the most important blessings of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and of shlemut, of wholeness. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May this be God's will.
Amen.
And let us all say, Amen. We're going to continue standing and recite the words of Aleinu L'Shabeach, which are found on the screens.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gedula li'yotzer b'reshit, shelo